The rain was coming down hard that Tuesday night when Amy finished her shift at the hospital. She pulled her jacket tight and started walking home like she always did. After 12 hours of dealing with patients, all she wanted was to get to her small apartment and maybe watch something funny on TV. Amy had been working as a nurse for 3 years now. She loved helping people, but some days were harder than others. Tonight was one of those nights. They had been so busy that she barely had time to eat lunch. Her feet hurt, her back was sore, and she was thinking about whether she had any leftover pizza at home. As she walked down 5th Street, she heard something strange. It sounded like someone was in pain, maybe crying or moaning. Amy stopped walking and listened carefully. The sound was coming from the narrow alley between the old brick buildings. Most people would have kept walking. It was late, it was dark, and this wasn't the safest part of town. But Amy couldn't just ignore someone who might need help. That's just who she was. Her mom always said she had too big a heart for her own good. She pulled out her phone and turned on the flashlight. The alley smelled terrible, like garbage and something else she couldn't identify. There were big dumpsters on both sides, and the ground was covered with puddles and trash. Amy carefully stepped around the worst parts, following the sound. That's when she saw him. At first, Amy thought it was just a really tall person lying behind one of the dumpsters, but as she got closer, something felt wrong. The person's arms and legs looked too long and their skin had a weird color to it. Not like any skin color she had ever seen before. It was almost blue, but not quite. Amy's heart started beating fast. This didn't look like any medical condition she knew about. The person was wearing strange clothes that looked like they were made from some kind of metal fabric, and there were these weird marks on their chest that seemed to glow very faintly, in the dark. She knelt down next to them, still not believing what she was seeing. The person's breathing was shallow and quick. They were definitely hurt badly. Amy reached out to check their pulse, but then the person's eyes opened. Those eyes were not human eyes. They were huge, much bigger than normal, and they were silver, like mirrors. Amy almost fell backward in shock. Her mind was racing, trying to make sense of what she was looking at. This had to be some kind of costume or makeup, right? Maybe someone filming a movie? But then the person spoke, and Amy knew this was real. Please. The voice was weak and had a strange accent she had never heard before. Help me. I am hurt very bad. Amy's training kicked in automatically. Hurt person meant help person. That was just how her brain worked. She didn't care if this person looked different or strange. They needed medical attention. Okay, don't worry, she said, trying to sound calm even though her hands were shaking. I'm a nurse. I'm going to help you. We need to call an ambulance and get you to a hospital. The person tried to sit up but fell back down with a groan. No hospital. No doctors. Please, they will not understand. They will hurt me more. Amy looked at the wounds on the person's chest again. They definitely weren't normal cuts or burns. They had these geometric patterns like someone had drawn triangles and circles on their skin with light. The wounds were deep, but they weren't bleeding the way they should be. What's your name? Amy asked, still trying to process everything. My name is... It is hard to say in your language. You can call me River. River. That was a normal enough name. Amy could work with that. Okay, River, I'm Amy. Can you tell me what happened to you? How did you get hurt? River closed those strange silver eyes. I fell from very high place. My vehicle was damaged. I crashed here. The ones who chase me, they cannot find me. Please, you must help me hide. Vehicle? Chasing? This was getting more confusing by the minute. But Amy could see that River was in real pain and really scared. Whatever was going on, this person needed help right now. Can you walk? Amy asked. My apartment is just 2 blocks from here. I have medical supplies there. We can figure out what to do next. River nodded slowly. With Amy's help, they managed to stand up. River was incredibly tall, maybe 7 feet, and very thin. Walking was difficult, but they made it to Amy's building. Getting River up to the 3rd floor was not easy. Amy had to stop several times to let River rest. She prayed none of her neighbors would come out and see them. How would she even begin? to explain this? Finally, they made it to Amy's small apartment. She helped River sit on her couch and went to get her first aid supplies. As a nurse, she always kept plenty of medical stuff at home. When she came back, River was looking around her apartment with curiosity. "Your home is nice," River said. "Very colorful." Amy had to smile a little. Even hurt and scared, River was being polite. "Thanks. Now let me look at those wounds properly." What Amy saw when she examined River up close made her question everything. She thought she knew about medicine. The wounds were healing themselves very slowly. And when River bled, the blood wasn't red. It was more like liquid crystal that turned hard when it touched the air. "River," Amy said carefully, "I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. Are you human?" River looked at her with those big silver eyes. There was sadness in them, and fear, but also something like hope. "No," River said, quietly. "I am not from your world. I am from very far away. And now I am alone here. And there are others looking for me who want to hurt me very much." Amy sat back in her chair, trying to make sense of it all. An alien, a real alien, was sitting on her couch asking for her help. This was either the most amazing thing that had ever happened to anyone, or she was having some kind of breakdown from working too many long shifts. But River's pain was real. The fear in their voice was real. And something deep inside Amy told her that this was really happening, as impossible as it seemed. "Okay," she said finally. "I believe you, and I'm going to help you. But you need to tell me everything. Who's chasing you? Why are you here? And what do they want?" River closed their eyes again, and when they spoke, their voice was full of sadness. "My people. We had to leave our home. Bad ones destroyed everything. We came here because we thought your world would be safe. But the bad ones followed us. They want to hurt your people too." Amy felt a chill run down her spine. "What do you mean, hurt our people?" "They think your people are not important. They want to take your world and make all humans go away." The words hit Amy like a punch to the stomach. Aliens wanted to invade Earth? It sounded like something from a bad science fiction movie. But looking at River, seeing the genuine fear and sadness in their alien features, Amy knew it wasn't fiction. "How many of your people are here?" she asked. "Not many. Most of us were killed when our home was destroyed. Maybe 20 or 30 of us made it to your world. We are hiding, trying to stay alive." Amy got up and walked to her window, looking out at the city lights. Somewhere out there, aliens were hiding among humans, and somewhere else, other aliens were planning to hurt everyone she had ever known and loved. She turned back to River. "What can we do? How can we stop them?" "I have something they want," River said, touching their chest where the glowing wounds were. "Information about their plans. But I am just one person. I cannot fight them alone." Amy made a decision that would change her life forever. "You're not alone anymore. We'll figure this out together." River looked at her with something like amazement. "You would help me, even though I am not like you?" "Everyone deserves help when they're hurt," Amy said. "That's what I believe. Besides, if these bad aliens want to hurt people on Earth, then this is my fight too." For the first time since Amy had found River in that alley, the alien smiled. It was a strange smile because River's face was different from a human face, but Amy could see the gratitude and relief in it. "Thank you, Amy from Earth," River said. "You have a good heart. But you should know, helping me will put you in danger, too. They will be able to find me soon, and when they do, they will know you helped me." Amy nodded. She was scared, but she was also determined. "Then we better get ready for them." Outside, thunder rumbled in the distance, and Amy couldn't help but wonder if it was really thunder, or if River's enemies were already coming. Amy woke up the next morning feeling like she had dreamed everything. But when she opened her eyes and saw River sitting by her living room window, she knew it was all real. The tall alien was looking out at the city with those strange silver eyes, and the morning sunlight made their blue-tinted skin look almost normal. "Good morning," Amy said, rubbing her eyes. She had slept on her bedroom floor because River needed the couch. Her back was killing her, but that seemed like a small problem compared to everything else. River turned to look at her. "Good morning. Amy, I hope you rested well. I did not sleep much. I was watching for danger." Amy noticed that River's wounds looked much better. The glowing marks on their chest were barely visible now, and they moved around without wincing in pain like last night. "You heal fast," Amy said, impressed. "My people heal faster than yours," River explained. "But these wounds are special. They were made by weapons that are meant to stop healing." Amy made coffee and offered some to River, but the alien politely refused. "My body cannot process your drinks," River said, "but thank you for offering." As Amy sipped her coffee, she looked at River more carefully in the daylight. Now that the immediate crisis was over, she had so many questions she didn't know where to start. "River," she said finally, "can you tell me more about your people? Where do you come from?" River was quiet for a moment, then moved away from the window and sat down across from Amy. "My people are called the Kithera. We come from a world very far from here, farther than your scientists have ever looked with their telescopes." "What's it like there?" Amy asked, genuinely curious. River's eyes got that sad look again. "It was beautiful. We had cities that floated in the sky and oceans that were purple instead of blue. Our people lived in peace for thousands of years. We spent our time learning about the universe and creating art and music." "What happened to it?" "The Dominion came," River said, and Amy could hear anger in their voice now. "They are a group of different alien races who believe they are better than everyone else. They travel from world to world, taking what they want and destroying anyone who tries to stop them." Amy felt her stomach drop. "And they destroyed your planet?" River nodded. "They gave us a choice. Join them and help them conquer other worlds, or be destroyed. Most of my people chose to fight rather than become conquerors. It was not enough." "I'm so sorry," Amy said, and she meant it. She couldn't imagine losing everything like that. "Some of us escaped in ships before the final battle," River continued. "We scattered across the galaxy, hoping to find safe places to hide and rebuild our lives. A group of us thought Earth would be perfect because humans seem kind and peaceful." Amy almost choked on her coffee. "Peaceful? Have you seen the news lately?" River tilted their head in confusion. "Your people fight sometimes, yes, but you also help each other. You have hospitals and schools and people like you who help strangers without asking for anything in return. The Dominion would never do such things." Amy had never thought about humanity that way before. "So you came here to hide?" "Yes, but we were careful. We did not want to scare your people or cause problems. A few of us have been living quietly in your cities for several months, learning your ways and languages." "Wait," Amy said, sitting up straighter. "There are more of you already here?" "About 30 of us made it to Earth. We spread out across different countries so we would be harder to track. I was supposed to meet with the others and share important information I brought from our homeworld." River touched their chest where the wounds had been. "The information is stored inside my body, in a special device that is part biological and part technology. It contains details about the Dominion's plans and their weaknesses." Amy leaned forward. "What kind of plans?" River's expression became very serious. "Amy, I need to tell you something that will be hard to hear. The Dominion did not just follow us to Earth by accident. They have been watching your world for some time." A cold feeling spread through Amy's chest. "What do you mean, watching us?" "They study planets before they attack them. They learn about the people, the governments, the weapons. Earth has been on their list for invasion." Amy stood up so fast she almost knocked over her coffee cup. "Invasion? They want to invade Earth? Your planet has many resources they want. Water, metals, and land for their growing population. But more importantly, Earth is in a strategic location for them to launch attacks on other worlds." Amy started pacing around her small living room. This was too much to process. "But surely our governments would fight back. We have armies and weapons." River shook their heads sadly. "Amy, you do not understand how advanced the Dominion is. Your most powerful weapons would barely scratch their ships. And they have another advantage. What advantage? Some of them can change their appearance to look like humans. They have been secretly placing their people in positions of power in your governments and military. Amy stopped pacing and stared at River. You're telling me there are already hostile aliens pretending to be human leaders? Yes. They have been preparing for the invasion for years. When they attack, they will know exactly how to shut down your defenses from the inside. Amy sank back into her chair, feeling overwhelmed. Yesterday, her biggest worry was whether she had enough money to pay rent this month. Now she was learning that Earth was going to be invaded by aliens. How long do we have you? She asked quietly. I do not know exactly. The information I carry might tell us, but I need to get it to the other Kythera so we can decode it properly. That is why I was traveling when I crashed. What crashed? I mean, what were you flying? River looked embarrassed. A small scout ship. It is hidden in the woods outside the city, but it is badly damaged. I was trying to reach the meeting point when Dominion hunters found me and shot me down. Amy's mind was racing. Dominion hunters? They're already here looking for you? Yes, and they will find me eventually. When they do, they will also find you because you helped me. Amy, I am grateful for what you did, but I have put you in terrible danger. Instead of feeling scared, Amy felt something else. Anger. These Dominion bullies had destroyed River's entire world, killed millions of innocent people, and now they wanted to do the same thing to Earth. The idea made her furious. What can we do to stop them? She asked. River looked surprised. Amy, this is not your fight. You should try to get as far away from me as possible. Like hell, it's not my fight, Amy said, using language she rarely used. If they want to hurt people on Earth, then it absolutely is my fight. Besides, you said the information you're carrying might help stop them, right? It might, but getting it to the other Kythera will be very dangerous. The Dominion will try to stop us. Amy stood up again, this time with determination instead of panic. Then we better get moving. Where are we supposed to meet the others? River stared at her. Amy, you cannot be serious. These beings will kill you without hesitation if they catch you. River, listen to me. I'm a nurse. I took an oath to help people and protect life. That doesn't just mean humans. If you and your people are trying to save Earth, then I want to help. But you are just one person. What can you do against the Dominion? Amy smiled grimly. You'd be surprised what one person can do when they're angry enough. Besides, I know this city better than any alien hunter does. And I have something they don't expect. What is that? I have you as a friend. And friends help each other. River was quiet for a long time, studying Amy's face. Finally, they spoke. On my world, we have a saying. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision that something else is more important than fear. You have great courage, Amy from Earth. I'm terrified, Amy admitted. But I'm also angry, and that's stronger than the fear right now. River nodded slowly. Then we will work together. But first I must warn you about something else. The connection between us. What connection? When you touched my blood last night, it created a bond between us. My people's blood has special properties. It means the Dominion can now track you the same way they track me. Amy felt her heart skip a beat. What does that mean exactly? It means you cannot go back to your normal life. They will find you wherever you go. The only way to stay alive is to stay with me and the other Kythera. Amy looked around her small apartment at all her normal human things. Her life as she knew it was over. But looking at River, thinking about all the innocent people on Earth who had no idea what was coming, she knew she was making the right choice. Okay, she said. Then let's go save the world. River stood up, and for the first time since Amy had found them, they looked hopeful. The meeting place is in the mountains, about 3 hours from here. But we will need to be very careful. The Dominion hunters will be watching all the roads. Amy went to her closet and started pulling out warm clothes and her emergency kit. Don't worry about that. I know some back roads that don't show up on any maps. My family used to go camping when I was a kid. As she packed, Amy couldn't help but think about how crazy this all was. Yesterday, she was just a nurse going home from work. Today, she was planning to help aliens save Earth from invasion. But somehow, it felt right. Like this was what she was meant to do. Outside, storm clouds were gathering again, and Amy wondered if River's enemies were already closing in. Amy and River made it halfway to the mountains before everything went wrong. They had been driving for about an hour on quiet back roads, with River giving directions to the secret meeting place. Amy thought they were being careful, staying off the main highways and avoiding any place with security cameras. She was wrong. It started with helicopters. Amy first noticed them in her rearview mirror, 3 black dots in the sky that seemed to be following the same path as her car. At first she thought it might be a coincidence, but when she turned onto a different road, the helicopters turned, too. "River," she said, trying to keep her voice calm. "I think we have a problem." River looked back through the rear window and immediately tensed up. "Those are not your military helicopters. The shape is wrong." "What do you mean the shape is wrong?" "Dominion technology. They are using ships that look like your aircraft, but they are much more advanced." River's voice was tight with fear. "Amy, you need to drive faster." Amy pressed down on the gas pedal, but her old car could only go so fast on the winding mountain roads. The helicopters were getting closer, and now she could see there were more vehicles following them on the ground. Black SUVs that were definitely not normal government vehicles. "How did they find us so quickly?" Amy asked, taking a sharp turn that made her tires squeal. "The blood bond I told you about." "They can track both of us now," River said. "But there is something else. I think they have been watching your building." Amy's heart sank. "You mean they know where I live?" "Yes, and they probably know everything about you now. Your job, your friends, your family." The thought of her family being in danger made Amy angry all over again. Her parents lived in a small town 2 hours away. Her sister had 3 kids. None of them had asked to be part of this alien war, but now they might be targets just because Amy had helped River. One of the helicopters swooped down low, flying right over Amy's car. She could see strange symbols painted on its side, and the sound it made was not like any helicopter she had ever heard. It was more like a high-pitched whine that made her teeth hurt. "They are trying to force us to stop," River said. "Do not stop, Amy. If they capture us, many people will die." Amy gripped the steering wheel tighter and kept driving. The road was getting steeper and more dangerous, with sharp drops on one side and rocky cliffs on the other. This was not a good place for a car chase, but she didn't have a choice. That's when the shooting started. The helicopters began firing some kind of energy weapons that looked like bright blue lightning. The bolts hit the road around Amy's car, leaving smoking holes in the asphalt. One shot hit a tree right next to the road, and the entire tree turned to ash in seconds. "Oh my God," Amy whispered, swerving to avoid another blast. "Those weapons could vaporize us." "They do not want to destroy us completely," River explained, holding on tight as Amy took another sharp turn. "They need me alive to get the information I carry, and they probably want to question you about what you know." More vehicles appeared ahead of them, blocking the road. Amy could see figures getting out of the black SUVs, but something was wrong with the way they moved. They were too tall, too stiff, like they were not used to human bodies. "River," Amy said, "are those actually humans?" River looked ahead and made a sound that might have been alien cursing. "No. Those are Dominion soldiers using disguise technology. They look human, but they are not." Amy slammed on the brakes and spun the steering wheel hard to the right. Her car skidded off the main road and onto a narrow dirt path that led up the mountain. She had no idea where it went, but it was better than driving straight into a trap. The car bounced and shook as they drove over rocks and holes. Amy had to fight to keep control as branches scraped against the windows. Behind them, she could hear the helicopters getting closer again. "There," River pointed ahead to what looked like an old mining tunnel carved into the mountainside. "Drive into that cave." "Are you crazy? We'll get trapped in there." "Trust me, Amy, I can sense something." Other Kithra are near. Amy didn't have time to argue. She drove the car straight into the dark tunnel just as another energy blast hit the ground where they had been seconds before. The tunnel was barely wide enough for the car, and the headlights showed rough stone walls on both sides. They drove deeper into the mountain for what felt like forever. Amy was starting to worry they would run out of gas or hit a dead end when the tunnel suddenly opened up into a huge underground cavern, and they were not alone. There were lights in the cavern, but not electric lights. These glowed with the same soft blue radiance that River's wounds had shown. As Amy's eyes adjusted, she could see figures moving around what looked like some kind of camp or base. "Amy," River said with relief, "we made it. These are my people." As they got out of the car, several tall figures approached them. They all had the same basic shape as River, but with different variations in height and coloring. Some had skin that was more green than blue. Others were almost silver. All of them had those large, expressive eyes. One of them, who seemed to be the leader, spoke to River in a language that sounded like music mixed with wind chimes. River responded in the same language, gesturing toward Amy several times. "What are you telling them?" Amy asked. "I am explaining who you are and why you are here," River said. "Some of them are concerned about bringing a human to our hiding place." The leader approached Amy and spoke in accented but clear English. "You are the human who saved River?" "Yes," Amy said, trying not to feel intimidated by the alien's towering height. "And you are?" "I am called Ocean by your people. I am the leader of the Kithara refugees on this world." Ocean studied Amy carefully. "River tells me you wish to help us fight the Dominion." "That's right. They want to invade Earth and hurt innocent people. I can't just sit back and let that happen." Ocean exchanged looks with the other Kithara. "Humans have never been involved in galactic conflicts before. You do not understand what you are asking." "Maybe not," Amy said, "but I understand that sometimes you have to fight for what's right, even when you're scared." Before Ocean could respond, alarms started going off throughout the cavern. The blue lights turned red, and all the Kithra began moving with urgent purpose. "They found us," River said grimly. "The Dominion is attacking the cave." Amy could hear explosions echoing from the tunnel they had come through. The enemy forces had followed them right to the secret base, and now all the Kithara refugees were in danger because of her. "I'm sorry," she said to Ocean. "This is my fault. I led them here." Ocean placed a large, gentle hand on Amy's shoulder. "You did what you thought was right. That is admirable. Now we must all work together to survive." The explosions were getting closer and louder. Amy could see the Kithara grabbing weapons that looked like nothing she had ever seen before. They glowed with energy and made soft humming sounds. "Ocean," River said urgently, "we need to download the information from my biostorage before the Dominion reaches us. If they capture me, everything is lost." "There is not enough time for a full download," Ocean replied. "But we can transfer it to the emergency beacon." Amy didn't understand what they were talking about, but she could see it was important. "What can I do to help?" Ocean looked at her with surprise. "You still want to help even though we are about to be attacked?" "Especially because you're about to be attacked," Amy said. "I'm not going to abandon you now." River grabbed Amy's arm. "The Dominion will be here in minutes. Ocean is right, there is not enough time for the normal process. But there is another way." "What other way?" "I can transfer the information directly to you. Because of our blood bond, your brain can store Kithara data temporarily. It would make you a living backup of everything we know about the Dominion." Amy felt a chill run through her. "What does that mean exactly?" "It means you would carry the most dangerous secrets in the galaxy inside your head," Ocean said seriously. "The Dominion would do anything to capture you alive. You would never be safe again." The explosions were so close now that rocks were falling from the ceiling. Amy could hear strange voices echoing through the tunnels, speaking in harsh languages that definitely were not human. "If I don't do it, what happens?" Amy asked. "The information dies with me," River said, "and Earth will be defenseless when the invasion comes." Amy looked around at all the Kithara refugees. These were people who had already lost their homeworld to the Dominion. They had come to Earth hoping for safety, and now they were about to lose again. Unless someone was brave enough to make sure their sacrifice meant something. "Do it, Amy," said. Transfer the information to me. River looked at Ocean, who nodded solemnly. You are very brave, Amy from Earth. I hope your people appreciate what you are about to do for them. River placed their hands on either side of Amy's head. This will hurt, they warned her. The last thing Amy remembered before the pain hit was the sound of the cavern entrance exploding open and strange figures pouring in with weapons drawn. Then her world went white as alien knowledge flooded her. Human brain. And she understood for the first time just how much danger Earth was really in. When Amy woke up, the world had changed. Not just around her, but inside her head. She could see things that weren't there before, understand languages she had never learned, and somehow know facts about planets she had never heard of. The alien knowledge River had transferred to her was like having a second brain running alongside her own. She was lying on the floor of the cavern, and the sounds of battle were all around her. Energy weapons were firing. People were shouting in multiple languages. And she could hear the awful sound of the Dominion soldiers advancing deeper into the cave. Amy. River's voice cut through the chaos. You are awake, we must move now. Amy sat up carefully. Her head felt like someone had stuffed it full of cotton, but she could think clearly. More clearly than ever before, actually. The alien information in her brain was organizing itself, showing her things she needed to know. River, she said, surprised by how calm her voice sounded. I can see their battle plans. The Dominion isn't just attacking this cave. They're attacking sites all over the world at the same time. River helped her stand up. You can access the strategic data already? That should not be possible so quickly. I don't know how, but I can see it all. Amy closed her eyes and concentrated. Images flashed through her mind like a movie playing, at super speed. They're hitting major cities right now, New York, London, Tokyo, Paris. They're not just looking for Cathera refugees anymore. This is the beginning of the invasion. Ocean appeared beside them, firing some kind of energy weapon at the cave entrance. If that is true, then we are out of time. We must get Amy to safety and contact the resistance network. What resistance network? Amy asked, ducking as an explosion sent rocks flying over their heads. Other species who have survived Dominion attacks, Ocean explained quickly. They have been building an alliance waiting for the right moment to fight back. The information you now carry could give them the advantage they need. Amy looked around the cavern. The Cathera were fighting bravely, but they were clearly outnumbered. Their weapons were more advanced than anything humans had, but the Dominion soldiers kept coming. And these weren't the fake humans she had seen on the road. These were the real Dominion warriors, and they were terrifying. They were huge, at least 8 feet tall, with armor that looked like it was made from liquid metal. Their faces were hidden behind masks, but Amy could see glowing red eyes that tracked movement like predators hunting prey. When they got hit by Cathera weapons, they barely slowed down. We need to get out of here, Amy said, surprised by her own tactical thinking. The alien knowledge was giving her insights into military strategy that her nurse brain never could have come up with, but not the way we came in. They'll be watching all the obvious exits. There is another way, one of the other Cathera said, approaching their group. The old mining tunnels connect to a network that goes for miles underground. But it is dangerous. Humans are not built for that kind of travel. Amy felt something stir inside her, and suddenly she knew exactly what the Cathera meant. The tunnels were too narrow for normal human bodies, and the air was thin. But the alien knowledge in her head was already calculating solutions. I can do it, she said confidently. The information River gave me includes data about human physical limitations and how to overcome them temporarily. River stared at her. Amy, you are changing. The knowledge integration is happening faster than it should. Before Amy could ask what that meant, a new sound filled the cavern. It was like the roar of a massive engine, but deeper and more menacing. The ground started shaking and dust rained down from the ceiling. What is that? Amy asked. Ocean's face went pale. Command ship. They brought a full battlecruiser to this location. Through cracks in the cavern ceiling, Amy could see flashes of light that definitely weren't lightning. The Dominion was bringing serious firepower to bear on their small group of refugees. But then something amazing happened. The light changed, color, from the harsh white of Dominion weapons to blues and greens that reminded Amy of River's healing glow. And the sound of battle above them was getting more complex, like there were more participants now. The Alliance, Ocean whispered, with wonder. They came. What alliance? Amy asked, but even as she spoke, she felt the alien knowledge providing answers. Images flooded her mind of different alien species, all survivors of Dominion attacks, all working together to fight back. There were the Veylan, who looked like they were made of living crystal and could manipulate energy with their minds. The Thornwick, plant-like beings who could control nature itself as a weapon. The Nexari, who were masters of technology so advanced it seemed like magic. And dozens of other species, all united by their hatred of the Dominion and their determination to stop the galactic bullies. They've been watching Earth, Amy realized, the knowledge flowing through her like water, not to invade but to protect it. Because they knew the Dominion was coming. The sounds of battle above were intensifying, but now it seemed more evenly matched. The Alliance fleet had engaged the Dominion command ship, giving the refugees in Feinberg the cave a chance to escape. We need to move now, Ocean said. Amy, can you really handle the tunnel system? Amy closed her eyes and let the alien knowledge guide her. She could see the entire underground network in her mind like a 3D map. More importantly, she could see where it connected to the surface in places the Dominion wouldn't expect. Yes, she said, but not just to escape. I know where we need to go. Where? There's a communications facility about 10 miles from here. It's built into the mountain, so it's heavily shielded. If we can reach it, we can use the alien knowledge in my head to broadcast everything to the world. River looked confused. Broadcast what to the world? The truth, Amy said, feeling more determined than she had ever felt in her life. Everything. The Dominion infiltration, the planned invasion, the Resistance Alliance, all of it. Humans have a right to know what's happening to their planet. Ocean shook his head. That would cause massive panic. Your governments would not know how to respond. Maybe, Amy admitted. But keeping it secret isn't working either. The Dominion is already attacking cities. People are going to find out. Anyway, when alien ships start appearing over their neighborhoods. At least this way they'll understand what's really happening and who the good guys are. Another massive explosion shook the cavern and Amy could see Dominion soldiers breaking through the Cathara defensive lines. They were running out of time. I can get us to the communications facility, Amy said. But we need to leave right now. Ocean made a quick decision. Half of us will go with Amy. The others will stay here and buy you time to complete your mission. Amy felt a stab of guilt. You're staying behind to fight so I can escape? We are staying behind so Earth has a chance, Ocean corrected her. You carry the hope of multiple worlds in your head now, Amy. That is worth any sacrifice. The group split up quickly. Amy led River and 6 other Cathara into the narrow mining tunnel while the rest prepared for a final stand. As they crawled through the tight spaces, Amy could hear the battle intensifying behind them. The alien knowledge guided her through the underground maze. She knew exactly which turns to take, which passages were stable, and which ones might collapse. It was like having a GPS system built into her brain. But as they traveled, Amy started to notice something troubling. The alien information wasn't just giving her knowledge. It was changing the way she thought, making her more logical and strategic, less emotional and impulsive. She was still herself, but she was becoming something more than human. River, she whispered as they crawled through a particularly narrow section. What's happening to me? The knowledge integration is deeper than we expected, River replied quietly. Your human brain is adapting to process Cathara information. It is making you smarter, but it is also making you different. Amy felt a moment of fear. Am I still going to be me? I do not know, River admitted. This has never been done before. You are the first human to carry our deepest secrets. We do not know what the long-term effects will be. Amy thought about that as they continued through the tunnels. She was changing, becoming something new. But looking back at the battle they had left behind, thinking about the Dominion ships attacking cities full of innocent people, she decided the risk was worth it. She was still Amy the nurse who wanted to help people, but now she was also Amy the guardian of alien knowledge, Amy the bridge between species, Amy the woman who might be able to save two worlds. The communications facility was just ahead. Soon everyone on Earth would know the truth about what was coming. Amy just hoped they would be ready to handle it. The communications facility was more heavily guarded than Amy had expected. Through the alien knowledge in her head, she could see the heat signatures of at least 20 Dominion soldiers surrounding the building. They had anticipated this move and were waiting for her. "They know we're coming," Amy whispered to River as they crouched behind a cluster of rocks overlooking the facility. "But I don't think they understand what I can do now." The alien information flowing through her mind was incredible. She could analyze the guards' patrol patterns, predict their movements, and even understand the weaknesses in their armor. It was like having a supercomputer built into her brain, but it still felt like her making the decisions. "Amy," River said quietly, "there is something I must tell you before we attempt this." "What is it?" "The knowledge transfer is not permanent for humans. Your brain will eventually reject the alien information to protect itself. You have maybe 6 hours before it starts to fade." Amy felt her heart sink. "You mean I'm going to lose all of this?" "Not lose exactly, but you will not be able to access it the same way. Some of it will remain as memories, but the active processing power will disappear." Amy looked at the facility ahead of them. 6 hours to change the world. It would have to be enough. "Then we better make this count," she said, standing up. "I have a plan." Using the alien tactical knowledge, Amy led the group around to the back of the facility where the guards were thinnest. But instead of trying to sneak past them, she did something that surprised everyone, including herself. She walked straight up to the nearest Dominion soldier and started talking to him in his own language. The alien words flowed out of her mouth like she had been speaking them her whole life. The soldier was so shocked to hear a human speaking perfect Dominion that he hesitated for just a second. That was all Amy needed. She had learned from the alien knowledge that Dominion armor had a specific weak point right at the base of the neck. A sharp impact there would shut down their entire system temporarily. Amy struck with precision she didn't know she possessed, and the massive soldier collapsed without making a sound. "How did you do that?" River asked in amazement. "I'm not sure," Amy admitted, but she was already moving toward the next guard. "It's like the alien knowledge is teaching my body as well as my mind." They made it to the facility's main entrance, without raising an alarm. But the real challenge was inside. The communications equipment was sophisticated beyond anything humans had built, and it would take all of Amy's enhanced abilities to figure out how to use it. As she worked on the complex, alien-human hybrid systems, Amy could hear explosions in the distance. The battle between the Alliance and the Dominion was spreading across the entire region. She had to hurry. "Got it," she said finally, as screens all around the room lit up with data. "I'm connected to every major communications network on Earth. Television, radio, internet, emergency broadcast, everything." River looked worried. "Amy, once you do this, there is no going back. Your entire species will know about us, about the Dominion, about everything. Are you sure this is right?" Amy thought about her parents, her sister, her nephews. She thought about all the people she had helped as a nurse, all the strangers on the street who had no idea their world was about to change forever. They deserved to know the truth. They deserved a chance to fight back. "Yes," she said firmly. "I'm sure." She began the broadcast, using her enhanced abilities to bypass every security system and override every channel simultaneously. Within seconds, her face appeared on screens around the world. "My name is Amy Chen," she began, looking directly into the camera. "I'm a nurse from Colorado, and I need to tell you something that's going to sound impossible. But I need you to listen because your life depends on it." She told them everything, about finding River in the alley, about learning of the Dominion's plans, about the alliance of alien species trying to help Earth. She showed them footage from the alien knowledge in her head, displaying images of destroyed worlds and the massive fleet heading toward Earth. "I know this is scary," Amy said, feeling the weight of millions of people watching her. I was scared too, but I also learned something important. We're not alone in this fight. There are good aliens out there who want to help us, who have risked everything to warn us. As she spoke, something unexpected happened. Reports started coming in from around the world. People weren't panicking the way everyone had feared. Instead, they were organizing. Governments were putting aside their differences to coordinate a response. Scientists were volunteering to work with alien technology. Ordinary citizens were forming groups to help in whatever way they could. The human spirit, River said with wonder, watching the reports. Your people are remarkable, but Amy's enhanced abilities were also showing her something else. The main Dominion fleet had arrived early, responding to her broadcast. Massive ships were appearing in the skies over major cities, ready to begin the invasion. They're here, Amy said, her voice carrying over the global broadcast. Everyone needs to take shelter immediately. But remember, the ships that look different, the ones with blue and green lights, those are our allies. The resistance is here to help us. The next few hours were unlike anything in human history. The battle for Earth played out in the skies, above every major city, broadcast live to the entire world. The Dominion's advanced technology clashed with the combined forces of the Galactic Alliance, while human military forces did their best to help from the ground. Amy used her remaining time with the alien knowledge to coordinate between human and alien forces. She translated languages, provided tactical information, and helped Alliance ships avoid hitting civilian areas. She had become the bridge between two worlds, exactly as River had said. But as the hours passed, she could feel the alien knowledge starting to fade. Her enhanced abilities were becoming fuzzy. Her perfect understanding of alien technology was slipping away. She was becoming human again. The turning point came when Amy realized something the Alliance had missed. The Dominion command ship had a critical weakness, but it could only be exploited from the inside, and there was only one way to get inside. River, she said, I need you to help me get to that command ship. Amy, that is suicide. Even with your enhanced abilities, you cannot survive on a Dominion vessel. Maybe not, Amy said, but I'm the only one who knows how to stop this. The knowledge in my head shows me exactly what needs to be done. Using a captured Dominion shuttle, Amy and River made it to the massive command ship. The plan was desperate and dangerous, but it worked. Amy's fading alien abilities were just enough to shut down the ship's main weapons and shields, leaving it vulnerable to attack by the Alliance fleet. The Dominion commander, finally revealed as the terrifying General, Vortex, confronted Amy in the ship's control room. The creature was even more frightening up close, a nightmare combination of machine and organic parts that towered over her. You are just a primitive human, Vortex said in perfect English. You cannot stop the destiny of the Dominion. Maybe not, Amy replied, her hand on the ship's self-destruct mechanism. But I can stop you. River appeared behind Vortex, badly wounded but still fighting. Amy, get to the escape pods. I will finish this. No, Amy said firmly. We do this together or not at all. In the end, it was River who made the final sacrifice, using the last of their energy to overload the command ship's power core while Amy escaped. The explosion lit up the sky like a second sun, and with their command ship destroyed, the remaining Dominion forces retreated. 6 months later, Amy stood in the newly built United Earth Alliance headquarters, looking out at a world that had changed completely. Alien refugees were being welcomed into human cities. Joint research projects were advancing human technology by centuries, and Earth had taken its place as a member of the galactic community. Amy was no longer enhanced with alien knowledge, but she had kept something more valuable. She had kept the friendships, the understanding, and the hope that River and the others had given her. She was human again, but she was a human who had helped save 2 worlds. As Earth's first ambassador to the Galactic Alliance, Amy often thought about that night in the alley when she had found a dying alien and decided to help. Such a small act of kindness had led to such enormous changes. River was gone, but their sacrifice had given humanity and the Cathera refugees a chance at a better future. And every day, as Amy worked to build bridges between species and prevent Future conflicts, she carried their memory with her. The stars no longer seemed distant and cold. They were full of friends, allies, and possibilities. Earth was no longer alone in the universe, and Amy had played a part in making that possible. Sometimes, she reflected, one person really could change everything. You just had to be brave enough to help a stranger in need.